the kind of questions you've got to really ask him, and you've got to feel him out, is he going to be there for a long term? Does he see this business? Because very many businesses start and the franchisor then sells out, and you end up with a new franchisor that is not quite the person that you put your faith and trust in. So you're going to want to know from this person that he sees this as a long-term business, and ask him, where do you see this business in 5 years' time? What are you trying to do with the business? Now, a good franchisor will help you develop a business plan, and he will have a business plan to take the brand further, because it's no good getting into a business that doesn't grow. In other words, if you were Kentucky one day, they started with 1 store and today they've got 600-700 stores. And that's the type of franchisor that you want. Apart from everything I've been saying, there is a legal side to it. So a franchisor needs 3 documents. They need an operations manual, they need a franchise agreement, and then they need something that we call a disclosure document. Now, that document is all about the business, and it's there to protect you. So in the document, they have to say that they're not in any litigation. There needs to be a letter from the accountant to say that it's a going business. And you've got to ask him for that disclosure document and go through it very carefully. Now, a disclosure document needs to be updated every year. So you need to ask the franchisor, when last was that disclosure document updated? And ask him, has anything materially changed since you updated that disclosure document? In doing your homework, it's very, very important that you go and talk to the other franchisees in the group. Now, in the disclosure document will be a list of all the franchisees and their contact numbers. Now, my advice is don't phone them, because if you phone them, they'll think it's someone from head office trying to do a mystery shopper. Go and take them for a cup of coffee and speak to them and say, look, if you had your time over again, would you in fact buy the franchise from this group? And are they delivering all the services that they promised you when you started off as a franchisee? Now, in the disclosure document too, they have to mention any outlets that have actually closed in the last period. So you can try and find out why they closed, if they have closed. Hopefully they haven't closed too many, but you can probe why that outlet actually closed down. You're probably asking yourself, what is my risk of failure and how do I know that I'm going to be successful in this project? I think you've got to do your homework, and the more you prepare and the more you do business plans, the less your chances of failure. But any business is open to failure. There's no foolproof business, and you've got to actually make sure that you've really researched everything, you've done your homework properly, and then when you go into the business, it's all over to you. So if you're lazy and you don't get up in the morning and you don't work hard, the chances of you failing is high. So you've got to put your head down and make things happen. It's really your business, you've got to make it happen. Bear in mind that as an entrepreneur, you're going to find it a little bit difficult in the beginning to follow all the rules. But the reason you buy a franchise is because you're buying into a system that has worked for many, many years. So it would be silly to buy a franchise and then not follow the rules. So the rules are all in the operations manual. And as a franchisor, you make sure that the franchisees are trained to that manual, operate to that manual. And if you're not going to follow those rules, don't become a franchisee, because then you must go and do your own thing and become a franchisor. When you buy into a franchise, you actually become a team. And you must never say them and us, it's we. And every successful brand uses the franchisee and the franchisor. And communication is key, both upward and downward. So a good franchisor will communicate very clearly with you and tell you exactly what's going on, so you don't get a surprise one day when you see a promotion advertised in the newspaper. But you are the person that interacts with the customers, and you must give good upward feedback. You're the one that is learning a lot about the brand, you're seeing what's happening, and a franchisor would respect you if you give good positive feedback.